Hey, millionaire. Did you know that every U.S. president receives a $200,000 lifetime pension? That's more than enough money to convince me to retire. But ex-presidents obviously don't feel the same. And that makes sense if you think about it. After all, nobody is more famous than the President of the United States. After leaving office, they take the opportunity to grow their wealth in any way they can. And you'll see in this video that being president is a pretty lucrative business. And in fact, out of the last 7 presidents, 6 of them have added millions to their net worth since taking office. Let's take a closer look at the net worth of America's leaders before and after their presidency. We'll be discussing the ones who lost money too. Number 8. Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter didn't start his life as a privileged American. He came from a farming background. He was taking so little money when he took over the family business that he was forced to live in subsidized housing with his wife. Somehow, he eventually grew the farm into something greater than his parents could. He entered his presidency with an impressive $2.3 million net worth. Sadly, while he was focusing on being president, his thriving business started crumbling, and soon it was $1 million in debt. That meant that he left the White House with less money than he had when he first walked through its doors. But that didn't last long. Along with public speaking, he published 30 books after his presidency. That's even an impressive number of books for even full-time authors. He also owns a big area of land in Georgia, which brought in extra money. Jimmy Carter is now 97 years old, and he's worth an estimated $10 million. Number 7. Ronald Reagan. Before becoming president, Ronald Reagan was already a household name thanks to a successful career as a Hollywood actor. He wasn't always so lucky though. He was born in 1911 and grew up in an apartment without running water or indoor plumbing. He started in radio before moving on to acting. When his career was put on hold due to World War II, he joined the Army. And when he returned, he started taking on some pretty interesting jobs. He became a totally different kind of president, the president of the Screen Actors Guild, as he was also working as an FBI informant in Hollywood. Soon, he became governor of California too. All of that added up to a very nice net worth of $10.6 million before he entered office. After his presidency, he made really good money from his book deals, including $5 million for My American Life and Speaking My Mind. He even made $1 million per speech at one time. It's estimated he had a net worth of $15.4 million by the end of his life. You can bet he would have made a lot more if he hadn't been diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease, only 5 years after leaving the White House. Number 6. George H.W. Bush. No list of presidents would be complete without mentioning George H.W. Bush, otherwise known as Bush Sr. His father was a very successful investment banker, so he always had a little advantage. After graduating from Yale, he had his fair share of super important jobs before becoming president. You can't deny Director of the CIA, Ambassador to the United Nations, and Vice President to Reagan are impressive job titles. But the $4 million he made before becoming president was mainly thanks to a successful oil business. After his presidency, he made money doing speeches, which always seems to be pretty lucrative for ex-presidents. But aside from the $75,000 speeches, he was also working as an advisor to an asset management firm. When he passed away, he was worth about $25 million. Number 5. Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton was raised by his grandparents in Arkansas after his father died 3 months before he was born. He took his stepdad's name after his mom remarried, and they could start raising Bill as a family. Like Obama, it was actually Bill's wife, Hillary Clinton, who made most of their money before Bill became president. He never made more than $35,000 a year. When Bill was elected president, the Clintons' combined net worth was only $1.3 million. Since then, their celebrity status has seen their wealth explode, even though they were actually in debt when they left the White House, thanks to Bill's legal fees. Don't worry, Bill. We won't mention that again. It didn't last long. Their celebrity status as a couple brought in a lot of money for appearances. In fact, Bill's average fee for giving a speech is $200,000. It wasn't hard for him to make $100 million from just speaking with fees that high. He was also paid the biggest advance of all time, receiving $15 million for My Life. Put all that together, and you have the highest earning ex-White House couple ever. They still earn up to $30 million every year. Their combined net worth is estimated at $241 million, and at least $120 million came from Bill. Number 4. George W. Bush. We all know that George W. Bush is the son of another former U.S. president, so it won't surprise you he was the second richest person on the list when he entered the White House. He went to Harvard Business School and spent time in the military before becoming president. He also founded an oil and gas exploration firm and invested in baseball. When he finally became president in 2000, he was already worth $20 million. He continued to make incredible amounts of money as an ex-president. He was earning between $100,000 and $175,000 for every speech, and some estimated that between 2009 and 2015, he gave 200 of them. That sure is a lot of cash. Combine that with all the book details, and his current net worth is about $40 million, twice what he had before becoming president. Number 3. Barack Obama. Barack Obama was born in Hawaii and graduated from Columbia University in 1983. After that, he went into some pretty humble jobs. He worked as a financial researcher, a project manager for charities, and a civil rights lawyer. It was actually Michelle who earned most of the money for the Obama family, with a salary of $275,000 per year as a lawyer, while Barack was only earning $30,000 per year at most. He had only just hit $1 million when he took office. It was only when he was elected that he started making good money. Between the $157,000 annual salary and his best-selling book, Dreams of My Father, he was suddenly pretty wealthy. Business Insider estimates that he made $15.6 million just from the book sales and advances between 2005 and 2016. Then there was the $2.8 million for speeches and special appearances, and the $50 million Netflix promotional deal. As you can tell, it all added up to a pretty impressive sum of money. The Obamas are now estimated to have a combined net worth between $70 and $85 million. That's a long way from the $1.6 million they started the presidency with. Number 2. Donald Trump. We all know who Trump was long before he became president. That's because he had an established business empire before taking office. His main focus was always casinos and hotels. However, you might be surprised to learn that his businesses weren't as successful as people think. Most of his personal net worth was actually thanks to his celebrity persona, which he'd been building since the 80s. Who could forget his bestseller, The Art of the Deal? After The Apprentice, he was literally selling his name to other companies. Even with all that fame, there's a lot of speculation about his net worth. Trump was quick to tell everyone that his pre-presidency net worth was $10 billion, but other sources say that that number is way too high. Forbes estimated it was $4.5 billion, while Bloomberg said it was probably $3 billion. Still, that's a lot of money. You can bet Trump expected to double or triple that amount during his presidency, but it didn't exactly go to plan. Remember all the controversy, impeachments, and riots? None of that did much to help his public image. On top of that, the internal lockdown seriously damaged his already struggling businesses. His properties have a total value of about $1.7 billion, but they're more than $256 million in debt. And that's not including the $330 million debt associated with his hotels and resorts. To make matters worse, their income decreased by a massive 42% between 2015 and 2020. The cherry on top of his problems is that his lender, Deutsche Bank, has refused to continue doing business with him, so it looks like he's on his own and paying back his $500 million debt. His net worth after leaving office is thought to be only $2.3 billion, making him the only president in recent history to lose hundreds of millions while in office. Oops. Somehow, he's still the richest ex-president in America though. We'll see how long that lasts. And number 1, Joe Biden. Biden is currently in office, and we'll have to wait and see what the end number is for him. However, he earned $17.3 million over the 4 years he was out of office, but his net worth is only an estimated $8 million at the time of this video.